Welcome back. It's that time of the week again. One Piece chapter 1040, Falling on Deaf Ears. And if you ever wonder why I'm looking down so much, it's because I'm reading it on my tablet. That way I don't miss anything, super important. But anyways, the cover page of this chapter is back to the Germa 66's Cold-Blooded Voyage. And this is volume 4 of it. And it is titled A Creature That Science Cannot Overcome. It's a picture of Niji and Yanji pretty much nailed to the book still, and they both seem to be thinking of what would happen if they were to face Big Mom. It doesn't seem like they would turn out too well. We know that. We have seen, the destruction that Big Mom can cause, and it's a huge plot point in this chapter because, quick spoiler alert, Big Mom is defeated in this chapter. It is made official. So, anyways, the chapter gets right into it with Damned Punk being unleashed and Big Mom, taking it right in the gut, like right about here, the solar plex. It shows a zoomed out version, and it shows that they are still up in Onigashima, and there's a hole all the way down through that Law created. But it shows the ground below Onigashima on Wano, and the hole that he created spans down, if it's to scale, at least 2 entire heights of the island, straight down into the ground. So, pretty much, Big Mom starts to smirk, because she's getting hit, but, it's not really having that much of an effect on her. Kid is kind of shocked, and Big Mom goes, "You damned brats." The crews around her go, "What? She wasn't blown away? That's not enough to put her down?" She starts to try and get up, and the crews around her are like, "You've got to be kidding me. She's taking it. Damn it, the 2 of them are already at their limit." She yells out, "I'll let you choose your fate. When this attack is done tickling me, you can either give me 50 years of your lifespan, or you can live on as my slaves." This kind of surprises Kid and Law, and she says, "Life or slave," which is her soul focus. The crews around her say, "Crap, she's using her soul focus on them. Boss, maybe we should fall back." And they start to get their souls ripped out from them, because she's stealing their lifespans too. Anybody within earshot, if it's not directed at a specific person, can be affected by that. And then somebody says, "She doesn't look anywhere near death's door. What a monster." And it kind of shows her on the ground, still being attacked, and it shows the whited out pupils of her, and she looks, very demonic. The pirate crews are like, "Captain, we've got to get out of here." And Kid and Law are like, yeah, you guys go ahead. This shocks Big Mom, and Kid's like, "You think the last gasps of an old windbag scare me?" And Law uses a new room that we have not yet... Well, technically we have seen it before. It's just we haven't seen it from him. He uses a room called Our Room, which is a nod towards Rosanate. He says, "Our room, your death screeches are going into my ears. Their souls aren't coming out," the crew says, shocked that, Kid and Law are not affected by the soul focus, because they don't really care. They're not afraid of her at this point. They're like, "She's an emperor, and they're not scared at all? Hold on tight, Mama, I'll save you," says the Misery, the homing Misery avatar thing. It starts to come up behind Law, and Law tosses the R room at Big Mom, saying, "I'll handle this just like when the man who saved my life." Another nod towards Rosanate. Kid's like, "Damn Emperor, you just don't know when to quit. I'm sending you packing straight to hell." And then we get our first of 3 double-page spreads of this chapter, and it shows, in the first panel, the room, the R room, covering Big Mom, and then nothing can be heard from her. Just like Rosanate's power. It eliminates all sound from getting out of, the area. And the crew's like, huh? There's no noise. And it shows a little tiny panel of Rosinante at this point. And Law's like, this technique cancels out every sound you make. Big Mom's shocked by this. She says, what the hell? My voice. Law's like, I can't hear you. And Misery comes up behind Law going, Mama. His crew shouts out, Captain, look out. Kid says, have another. Damned punk. And as he shoots that down, Law draws his sword and cuts Misery right in half, it seems. Doing this little cool flip move, because, Law's gotta look cool. So then we get pretty much Big Mom with her tongue out, like in the last panel, but this time it looks like she's actually taking quite a bit of damage. She starts to fall down through the floors, which is not good for her, because as we know, there's a hole all the way down through the island, off the island that's floating, into the mainland. So if she falls all the way through, she'll be falling for quite a while. She's surprised and she goes, Prometheus, Hera, what are you doing? Come help me. But, nobody can hear her. As she's getting blown down through the island, we see Yamato. And she goes, huh? Big Mom? Why didn't that make any noise? As she's just blown straight through the basement. On her way through the basement, she realizes that nothing she touches makes any sound, and she grabs a bomb that's frozen, and it explodes. Yamato manages to stop the rest of the bombs from exploding, but it's one of those things that it blows a hole in the side of the island. And you see the avatar that Kandro made. You see that as it's, right there, and it seems to be blown away, maybe? Actually, this is the last we see of it. It could just be being snuffed out. Last thing we see from it is like a little ghost type thing, and it says Aruchi-sama, and then we don't see anything more from it. Then we get another double page spread as, the hole in the side of the island is blown apart. You see Big Mom, still covered in the room, falling down, and this actually makes you kind of feel bad for her at this point, because she goes, damn it, this is all your fault. Are you listening, Roger? Obviously, this is all within her head. She's not saying this out loud, not that anybody could hear her anyways, but she's saying this all within her head. It's kind of last thoughts to herself at this point. She goes, are you listening, Roger? Why'd you have to go and say all that? The whole world bought it. The Great Pirate Era. Your time was up, so it didn't affect you. All those brats came flooding in looking for their chance to shine, and you left us to deal with it. At least you could have done it was tell us about the One Piece before you croaked. It's real, right? And that's the last you really hear of Big Mom in this chapter. During all of this monologue, it shows a few different scenes, and these are pretty important scenes. First of all, obviously, you see Big Mom falling down through the island and off of the island. And then you see a scene of Chopper, and it seems like they're all jostled. I believe they were in the same area as Big Mom was fighting, so it makes sense. With that much of an explosion, they'd all go flying, And then the next scene, you see Brooke and Robin running through flames. So CP0 still has not caught them. That's good. And then this is a point where I was somewhat wrong. You get two very, very small panels of Zoro. He's laying face down. Well, not face down, but chest down with his face off to the side. And he's surrounded in blood. It looks like splatters of blood. It doesn't look like just... it looks like blood's been pulling out of him, but before you really see anything with that, the island around him starts to crumble. And the next little panel is you see the ground under him falling. So hopefully Frankie can save him. Otherwise, it's not looking great for Zoro. So the next thing is you see Komarasaki, I believe her name is. I cannot remember her actual name, but Orochi calls her the Komarasaki. And you see her playing her instrument, but you see Orochi off, like, not on her lap, but laying on the side. You can't really tell anything with him. It doesn't look like he's dead, but he could be. I don't know. He's probably not with how much he's been a pain in the neck, but he's not laying his head on her lap like he was the last we saw her. Then the next scene, it seems like Rhizo has finally beaten Fokaroka, whatever his name is. I can't say his name. I have, but today I can't say it. That's just how that works. But Fokaroka is laying on the ground, ablaze, and Rhizo is also there, ablaze, but he's still standing in his stance, and all you see is water. I need water. And then the next page is another double page spread, and I somewhat lied before. This is the last you see of Big Mom. She goes, "What is it? Where is it? Does this country hold some of the answers? It's so frustrating. Kid, Law, I'll never forgive you for this. You better not think this is enough to kill me." And it shows her falling into the giant hole that Law had made with his previous attack, Puncture Willie. And then the narrator comes over, and this is huge. This is the first time this has happened since Whitebeard. Emperor Big Mom versus the new generation. The live floor battle. Victors, Eustace, Captain Kidd, and the Surgeon of Death, Trafalgar Law. So, it is official. Law and Kidd have beaten Big Mom. This is the first Emperor we have seen fall since the fall of Whitebeard. That is huge. That is a huge milestone. So, the next pages are, you see Kidd and Law, they are not looking good, but they're alive. They are definitely laying there. And then you see their crews going, "They defeated Big Mom. This is huge. This is really huge. Boss, Captain." And they're all rushing towards him. And then it doesn't even stop there, because there's more that this lets on. You see a zoomed out picture of Onigashima, and Yamato can see Momonosuke at this point. And Momonosuke says, "Oh, Yamato." She goes, "Momonosuke-kan, and Momo's like, "Why is there a big hole in the basement?" Yamato's like, "Yeah, one of these bombs just went off just now. Thankfully, I was able to freeze the others before the whole armory blew away. And this is a big thing here." Behind Yamato, you don't see the thing that Kanjuro created. So, it looks like we're safe from that. I'd like to get a little bit more information on what happened with that, because I don't feel like I'd be satisfied with a huge plot point like that just being kind of shrugged off. I'd like information on how it got taken care of, how it disappeared and all that, but we'll see. Momo says, "I'm glad you're okay. I have a lot on my plate at the moment, so please listen." And it shows him, pulling the island away. And he says, "Zunesha is getting pretty close now." "What?" Yamato's like, "What? You mean the elephant Odin mentioned in his journal?" Momo's like, "Exactly. It committed a serious crime 800 years ago, back when it was Joy Boy's companion." And that's the end of the chapter. The narrator says, "What is Momo trying to say?" And now for, the best news of all. There's a break next week. Of course. It's always got to end on cliffhangers like this. So, this was a huge chapter. There's a lot to go on with this. Zoro, Robin, Big Mom being defeated. So, yeah. Let me know what you thought about this chapter. I am a little awestruck from this chapter. It's crazy to be reading current at this point, because back when Whitebeard was defeated, I was not reading. I just recently started reading One Piece and watching One Piece about a year ago. And I caught up. I've been following it since then, and this was a giant chapter, even though it was a pretty short chapter all in all, page-wise. But yeah, let me know what you thought about this chapter, and I'll see you in the comments below. Bye.